I heard the Tari agricultural colonies are failing, I offered, taking a sip of my lukewarm drink and immediately regretting it. Something about soil composition algorithms. Apparently the humans had been adjusting them weekly, and nobody bothered to learn how. Torque's translator made a sound suspiciously like a sob. The forum chamber doors opened, and Counselor Vrim floated in, his containment suit displaying visible cracks. Good news, everyone. We have located the human delegation. They are willing to negotiate. Every being in the cafe turned simultaneously. Hope, that dangerous emotion, flickered to life. What are their terms? Torque asked, straightening. Vrim's enthusiasm deflated visibly. They want everything. Define everything, I said carefully. 3 permanent seats on the council. Veto power on any legislation affecting their interests. Elimination of all tariffs on human goods. Fair market compensation for all services rendered. A formal apology from the Concordance for, and I quote, 47 cycles of condescending nonsense. Vrim paused. Also, they want the galaxy to acknowledge that pineapple does belong on pizza, though I suspect that last one might be a joke. Outrageous. Morax had appeared from somewhere, vibrating with indignation. 3 council seats. No species has more than one. They cannot seriously expect us to agree to such demands. They do not expect us to agree, I said slowly, realization dawning. That is the point. They do not want to come back. Torque looked at me, his skin flickering between colors. But then why negotiate at all? So they can say they tried, I explained. So when our worlds start collapsing, when the famines begin, when the wars spread, they can point to this moment and say we refused reasonable terms. They are not trying to rejoin the Concordance, Ambassador. They are establishing plausible deniability for when they watch us burn. The silence that followed was broken only by Morax's panicked vibrating. We could accept their terms, Vrim suggested weakly. And then what? Morax spat. Let the humans dictate policy? Let them control the Concordance? They have been members for less than 50 cycles. My species has been part of this organization for 4,000 years. The sheer arrogance, the absolute gall. The Concordance will not survive 6 more months without them, I interrupted flatly. Your 4,000-year-old species will not survive 6 more months without them. So perhaps the question is not whether we can afford to accept their terms, but whether we can afford not to. Torque's tentacles had stopped moving entirely. When did we become this dependent? Slowly, I said. Then all at once. We let them handle the difficult problems because they were good at it and we were lazy. We let them maintain our infrastructure because they were efficient and we were comfortable. We let them mediate our conflicts because they were neutral and we were tired. I gestured at the darkening viewport, where station lights were beginning to flicker from power conservation protocols. And now here we are. There must be another way, Morax insisted. We are intelligent species. We survived millennia before humans arrived. Surely we can adapt. Can we? Torque asked. The Yarvik's Accords took 300 years to negotiate. Humans brokered a similar treaty in 6 months. The Bolvans spent 2 centuries developing power grid technology. Humans improved it in 5 years. We are not stupid, Counselor. But humans are terrifyingly, incomprehensibly good at solving problems. And we forgot how to solve our own. The cafe lights flickered. Went dark. Emergency power kicked in, bathing us all in sickly yellow. I will bring their terms to the council, Vrim said finally. Though I suspect I know how the vote will go. He was right, of course. The council rejected the human terms by 47 votes to 6. Pride, apparently, was more important than survival. 2 days later, I received a personal message from Director Ortiz. I almost deleted it. Curiosity 1. Hello, friend, she said, and I was struck by how genuine she sounded. I suspect things are getting difficult up there. I want you to know this was not personal. Well, it was. But not against you specifically. She smiled sadly. We tried for 47 cycles to be equals. To be heard. To be respected. Instead, we were used. So we left. Maybe you will figure it out. Maybe you will learn to solve your own problems again. Maybe you will even thrive. Her expression hardened. Or maybe you will finally understand what it feels like to be considered useful but not valued. The message ended. I sat in the dark, listening to the station groan as systems failed one by one, and realized the humans had taught the galaxy one final lesson. Nobody is indispensable, right up until they are gone. The emergency session began at what the Velcrin would call dawn, though in the infinite black of Space Station Perihelion 7, dawn was just another convenient lie we told ourselves. I watched Ambassador Torque stride into the forum chamber, his 6 tentacles coiling and uncoiling with what I had learned to recognize as extreme agitation. The holographic star map above us flickered, displaying every member species of the Galactic Concordance. 53 civilizations. 53 different ways to say, we are terrified, and none of them quite capturing the sheer, pants-wetting panic currently rippling through the assembled delegates. They left, Torque announced, his translator struggling with the emotion in his voice. The humans. They simply left. Counselor Vrim, a gaseous being whose containment suit always smelled faintly of rotting flowers, let out a sound like escaping steam. Define left, Ambassador. Left the station? Left the sector? Left the forum? Torque's skin shifted from diplomatic blue to alarmed purple. Permanently. The chamber erupted. You have not experienced true cacophony until you have heard 53 species all losing their collective minds simultaneously. The Tari were chittering, the Bolvans were honking, and someone in the back was making a noise like a dying refrigerator. I would have laughed if my species had the biological equipment for it. You see, humans had been members of the Concordance for exactly 47 standard cycles. In that time, they had done something no other species had managed. They had made themselves absolutely, horrifyingly indispensable. Need a war ended? Call the humans. Plague outbreak? Humans. Unsolvable mathematical proof? Some human teenager probably already solved it for homework. They were everywhere, doing everything, and we had all grown fat and comfortable on their endless, inexplicable enthusiasm for solving other people's problems. Motion to recall the human delegation. Vrim wheezed. Denied, replied the forum AI, its voice maddeningly calm. The human government has formally withdrawn from the Concordance. All treaties are dissolved. All agreements are void. All human personnel are being recalled to their home systems. I felt my secondary brain stem tingle. That was the part of me that handled fear. But Counselor Morex, whose species had enjoyed human-provided medical technology for 3 decades, was vibrating. But they cannot simply leave. We have contracts. Agreements. All dissolved, the AI repeated. As is their right under Article 7 of the Concordance Charter. Any member species may withdraw with 30 days' notice. The humans provided notice this morning. They have, in fact, been planning this withdrawal for approximately 6 months. 6 months. They had been planning to abandon us for 6 months, and nobody noticed. Torque pulled up a communication feed. The human ambassador appeared, a woman named Director Valencia Ortiz, her dark eyes utterly devoid of the warmth I had come to expect from her species. Greetings, esteemed members of the Galactic Concordance. By now you have been informed of Earth's withdrawal from this organization. This decision is final and non-negotiable. Director Ortiz, Torque began, his voice cracking slightly. Please, we can discuss this. If there are grievances. Oh, there are grievances, Ambassador. Her smile was thin, sharp. 47 cycles worth. But we are not here to air them. We are simply informing you, as a courtesy, that humanity is done. Done. Such a small word. Such enormous implications. You need us. Vrim exploded, his containment suit rattling. Your economy depends on concordance trade. Does it? Ortiz tilted her head. Because from where I sit, Earth provides 72% of the Concordance's medical technology, 68% of its agricultural innovations, and 91% of its conflict resolution services. In return, we receive, what exactly? Tariffs? Restrictive trade policies? The privilege of watching the Council vote down Earth's proposals because our species is too young, too aggressive, too whatever the excuse is this cycle? The silence that followed was deafening. We built you a Dyson sphere last year, she continued conversationally. The Corvith cluster. Took us 18 months, cost us 4 trillion credits. The Council paid us 700 billion and called it generous. Meanwhile, when Earth requested assistance during the Pacific collapse, we were told our emergency was not a Concordance priority. Morex began to speak, stopped, tried again, and failed. So here is what happens now, Ortiz said. Every human leaves. Every embassy closes. Every ship returns home. Every contract ends. Every facility we built for you reverts to your control. Good luck maintaining them. The Concordance wanted us to be junior partners forever? You got it. We are partnering with exactly nobody. The feed cut. Torque looked at me. I looked at Vrim. Vrim looked at Morex. We are doomed, I said simply, because someone had to. Human engineers ran the water purification on 60% of member worlds. Human doctors staffed the plague response teams. Human negotiators had prevented 17 wars in the last decade alone. Humans had brokered the peace treaty between the Zolviks and the Thren, species who had been trying to exterminate each other for 3,000 years. And we had, apparently, taken that for granted. Emergency session, Torque declared. We need to convince them to return. I watched the star map flicker as human-controlled stations began going dark, one by one. I do not think they are coming back, Ambassador. They have to, Morex insisted. They are humans. They cannot help themselves. It is their nature to help. I hoped he was right. I very much feared he was wrong. 3 weeks later, the Concordance was discovering just how wrong Morex had been. I sat in what used to be a bustling diplomatic cafe on perihelion 7, stirring a beverage that no human engineer was around to keep properly heated. Across from me, Ambassador Torque looked like he had aged several cycles in mere days. His skin had settled into a permanent gray, the color of despair. The Corvith Dyson sphere went offline yesterday, he said quietly. Without human maintenance crews, the Bolvans cannot keep the energy grid stable. They are rationing power. Rationing. A civilization with access to their entire star's energy output is rationing power. I made a sympathetic clicking noise, though honestly, I was fighting the urge to laugh. The irony was simply too perfect. The Velkran medical station is reporting a 60% drop in treatment efficacy, Torque continued, scrolling through his data pad with trembling tentacles. Turns out, humans were the only ones who actually understood how half the equipment worked. The Zolviks and Thren started skirmishing again. Without human mediators, they lasted exactly 4 days before somebody fired the first shot. Friends, if you are enjoying our videos and want to watch new and exciting sci-fi and HFY stories every day, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to turn on the bell icon so you never miss any of our latest uploads. Like the video and share it with your friends as well, so our community can continue to grow and bring you even more amazing content.